Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into today's episode, I do want to thank our friends over at Superfat. If you guys don't know, Superfat is the nut butter you need to start taking. If you if you eat peanut butter, that is so 30 years ago. Nut butter is the new nut butter made with macadamias and almond nuts. This stuff's incredible. They have tons of different flavors. But the one thing I love most about nut butter, especially like Superfat in particular, is it's healthy fats. So there's good fats and there's bad fats. Well, this is packed full of incredible nutrients for you, including healthy fats that your body needs, to give you a little boost of energy, whether it's before a workout, early in the morning. It's just overall a great product. So you can visit superfat.com to check out their entire portfolio. And they even came out with brand new keto cookie bites, which are great. They're grain and gluten free. They're a nice little guilt free snack. Again, go to superfat.com, use the code Berardo10. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. We are joined by a good friend of mine and a sports science major. He's well known in the South Florida market for his fitness. He owns a company, Beat the Gym. You could follow him at Tony Thomas Sports. And everyone, please help me welcome Tony
It's just
Thomas.
funny. It's funny, the way you tell the story and everything.
Funny how?
Come here, though. Yeah, he's crazy, see? Who are you?
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Are you ready?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah, different,
a little bit.
different world,
A little bit. So I got
different
you, just
world.
so you know, I got you on two monitors, so I'm not
Yeah, yeah.
ignoring you, but I got my camera in one. So
Okay,
this is the studio, the
I
podcast
like it,
studio.
bro. I like it. Looks super, super nice.
Thanks, man. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah,
Um,
it's clean. You're coming in crispy on my side.
we're getting there, bro.
I
Looks good
love
out
it. I
there. What are
love
you
it.
on the balcony?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, I'm
Now,
jealous.
yeah, I hear you perfectly clear.
Okay. Yeah, I got the wife downstairs too. It's weird because we're do you have a condo or an apartment?
Condo.
You got a condo, yes, so do I. So but mine's three levels, but it's a loft style, so very New York style.
Okay.
So we got no walls except the bathroom and
Wow.
the closets.
Wow.
So like
Got you.
I
Got you.
the wife's working on the bottom floor and I'm on in my office up top, and it's like trying to get work done is
Right, right, right.
um but we're getting there though, man. But I wanted to have you on because mainly my podcast is about health, fitness,
Yeah,
my struggle. Because I
yeah.
don't know if we've talked about this before, but I used to be a trainer way back in the day,
Uh-huh.
when I was 18, and I kind of got out of that, and I just didn't really pursue it as much as I really wanted to. And every day, I always kind of regret it, but I'm sort of
Right.
kind of in the fitness world now because I coordinate, obviously with a lot of events that we have, and especially with rain now, we're getting into that
Yeah.
performance. But I wanted to have you on because I've been seeing what you've been doing during this quarantine, and I'm stoked, dude. So I wanted to kind of pick your brain and hopefully give some value to the listeners.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
So for people that don't know, I mean, I know your background and stuff, but why don't you lay out a little bit of what you've done in the past, where you're located, little stuff like that.
Yeah, so my background is sports science, sports medicine, concentration. Uh, I got into the performance side of things. That was my favorite part is the rebuild phase, taking guys from their injuries back to full on play mode. Um, Fell in love with that, and then got into performance. Really got into performance. Started focusing on in the sports world. Uh, Develop a little rapport with different athletes, both in the NFL, NBA, and took it from a sports performance style format to everyday crossover fitness style, where you can pretty much essentially apply these different movements that we all love to do in the athletic space, and let your regular everyday person get it in too as well. um, so that transition is what kind of led me to beat the gym. My whole concept of being able to work out anywhere and applying, because a lot of times when you play a sport, you don't really need a gym. You just gotta get outside and work with the cones, work with drills, don't even need weights for majority of your workouts. I mean, weights started becoming popular in that field later on, but in the beginning it was a lot of movements and sport specific movement. If you want to jump high, I always say you got to get out and jump. So that's pretty much
That's right.
my mentality, you know?
Yeah, because it seemed like, especially when I was a trainer, it seemed like, and I'm sure like bodybuilding and things like that kind of transformed a little bit of the fitness atmosphere. But I use the example of when you say jump high, a lot of athletes think that doing calf races is going to help you jump high.
Right.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, you want to have strong calves and strong legs, but at the end of the day,
Right.
you gotta jump, right? You got to get
Yeah.
out there
Yeah.
and do some hit training and stuff like that. So it is interesting when I talk to people because everybody's different.
Totally.
And even me, I mean, I can't remember the last time I even did a hit workout. And obviously I kind of had to do one because of this quarantine thing. It forced me into it, which is a good
Uh-huh.
thing. But I always used to do, I don't know if you ever tried the dog crap workout. You ever do that one?
No, I haven't. I haven't yet.
So it's, without getting too much in detail, because it's very intricate, but it's crap as in CRAPP, so people could look it up. But it's pretty much 6 sets. You're doing high weight, low reps, but you're only resting 30 seconds in between. So it's almost like a hit workout, but with weights.
Weights.
And you're
Yeah.
and you're increasing the weight. So to me, I'm thinking that's like the formula to get jacked. And I did it and it worked. But then you talk about you can only work out a couple days a week because you're sore as hell.
Yeah.
So your stamina goes down, right? You don't
Right.
even have the energy to do cardio or anything like that. So then I'm like, what do you really want out of fitness? Do you
Right.
want to be able to bodybuild and be at a show? Then that might be for you. But if you're just wanting to be active, stay fit, be shredded, I think
Right. Right.
70% of guys want to be shredded.
Shredded.
So
Yeah.
are those the type of workouts you should be doing? And to your point, I think going the route of the athlete training and doing the movements that you typically do. What's the saying they always say? Length equals strength.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
doing the
Tension
workouts
relationship.
that's it. Yeah, doing the workouts
Mhm.
that you typically want to do. You want to have mobility until you're 60, 70 years old.
Yep.
You don't want to be at the age where you're jacked up until you're 40, and then from 40 to 80 you're crippled because your bones can't
Yeah.
handle all that muscle for so long. So
Exactly. Exactly.
so your workouts, so were you able, because Beat the Gym, which by the way, awesome page,
Thank you.
awesome site. I'm loving the content. If you can, and I'll make sure I leave the description and everything of all your links.
Absolutely.
In the podcast description. But what's the Instagram handle that you got?
Instagram handle at Beat the Gym, and for me personally at Tony Thomas Sports.
Cool.
So at BEATTHEGYM, Beat the
Nice.
Gym, and then at Tony Thomas, my name, Sports.
Nice. And just tons of great workouts, doing a lot of collaboration with, different athletes and different businesses. So, for you, has this quarantine thing, affected you from a business standpoint, or?
Fortunately, given the circumstance, there's never a good reason why you should have success. But no, we've actually picked up in business. We've helped a lot of people get through the stigma and the stresses that come with the quarantine. So I look at it as a blessing. We've been able to maintain our outdoor activities because of our mobility. Mobility meaning we can move to different locations. We're not confined to a gym. And then also we've increased in our live online classes too as well. So it's been an interesting growth. We're prepared for it because we've had similar situations, not like the pandemic, but situations where people were needed to get a workout in and they couldn't go outside, like during hurricanes or even during weekends where gyms would be limited in hours. We'd find that we would have a spike. So we were
Right.
ready for a spike. But we've been doing it for 5 years, man. Just allowing ourselves to be able to work out anywhere. So we never really shut down. And I think that it was very, very cool for not only the brand, but for the community, because the community needed something that was not, not expensive. I mean, we're super affordable at $30 a month.
Wow.
We embrace you like family. When you come, you know, we're laughing, we're joking, we're spaced out. We're not slapping fives or anything like that. We're doing social distancing, but everybody has that awareness, like, hey, we're in this situation together, and we need to make sure that we're taking care of our immune system by maintaining physical activity.
That's it, man. Yeah, and I think, hopefully a lot of people are starting to kind of realize it. And if you've never worked out in your life, this quarantine will definitely give you a little gut check, because
Yeah,
it's so
totally.
hard to stay at home, and if you're not active, your energy level goes down. You're
Yeah,
not
absolutely,
getting a lot of vitamin D, right? Because you're not going outside as much. You're not walking
absolutely.
around, so you're getting very lethargic and tired. And then of course, let's be honest. I mean, Netflix is awesome. So
It sure is.
so if you get caught in that mode, of just staying at home watching Netflix and just eating, and people listening out there, I know you're not eating as healthy as I do, when you're not working out, and I cheat a little bit, right? So imagine if you cheat and then don't work out and don't be active,
Right,
your body kind of goes into starvation mode, right?
right,
And
right.
it thinks to itself it's going in hibernation, so it's going to start storing everything. And
Absolutely.
right, if you're not getting active and getting outside, and that's why I love watching your videos and stuff, because obviously you're keeping that social distancing, but you know people kind of need that little push. Even me, I mean, being in the fitness industry for a while, and I'm sure you too. I mean, if you're not surrounded by people with that energy, that gets you going, right?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
my motto honestly is whether one or 100, my showmanship is I'm gonna give you the exact same energy, but there is a different vibe when it's a big group, just like there's a different vibe when it's one-on-one, it's more personable. But like when it's a big group, it's like, man, you really do feel like, family encouragement. Everybody's pushing on one accord, on one mission to get to their goals, and everybody's so vocal in our crew. Like they're very, when they're feeling it, they'll let you know through moans and groans. When they're happy at the end, they'll let you know through yells and cheers. So we do have a very, very, very verbal group that just gets out there and just makes it happen.
That's awesome. And obviously, you're branched out of South Florida. Do you get a lot of business through all of Miami? Is it West Palm? What's typically your market that
Yeah,
you're getting a
man,
lot of clients from?
we have an interesting group. So we have the tourist group that comes in that maybe know that may have seen me on Instagram. So they're like, when I come to Miami, I got to beat the gym. You know what I mean? One thing I got to do, I got to beat the gym. So we have families from DC and some other areas too as well that have come to our classes and participated and beat the gym, and Italy, France, and different areas. But then we have that cluster of people that are just from the town, man. Midtown, downtown, Miami Beach, Coral Springs. We got Coral Gables. We have a few people that come down from Fort Lauderdale, and especially now more than ever, you got guys coming from real far out just for the experience. Because what's happening now is more than just a workout; it's an experience. We're
Mhm.
adding we're adding a different look to fitness, and people are really embracing that. And everybody is encouraging it and wanting to jump on board. You know, I pride myself in never ever, and I always said this. I love all my boutique, gyms. I love all my high end gyms. I love fitness as a whole, but I really pride myself in never being too expensive for anybody. You know what I mean? I love the fact that I can give, as much as me, for very minimum prices. I always want to be that. I always want to be available to the people. And that's my thing is community. I feel like if the one way to hit the community is to always leave yourself available by any means necessary.
Now, is that the reason why you went a little bit less traditional, as opposed to like maybe going to like an LA Fitness or an Anytime Fitness or a Bally's or something like that, and being a trainer or sports
Yeah,
science trainer there? Is that why you wanted to go your own route a little bit?
absolutely, absolutely. I know whenever, I mean, I kind of, I still have relationships with gyms.
Uh,
And like I said, from the boutiques to the high ends, I still have my relationships with them. But I never wanted to be just locked in to one format, because then I wouldn't be able to reach a certain demographic. So we have everything from vice presidents to presidents of banks to your regular workers that work with for whatever company. To kids come. We have different variety of people that can just come and appreciate active lifestyle in the community. It's not just about getting the wealthy. It's not just about getting the poor. It's about getting the community involved and getting everybody involved to look at the one thing that we can all have in common, and that's quality health. Like, we want to have quality health as a whole, and everybody should have an opportunity to get that.
Absolutely, man. No, well said. And, again, I hate to keep bringing up this COVID thing, but it's obviously impacted the world in a big way. What would your advice be if maybe things are starting to get back to normal? I start to see it. I know South Florida, I just got some email that, some events are up and running, and, I'm doing some stuff with Andrew and Stay Fit. I'm sure you're probably seeing that. So
Yeah.
More details to come there, but things are starting to kind of get back into it. What would your advice be for maybe an average Joe that has had a rough, 3 months? They're not really motivated. Maybe they're not in the best, shape of their life because of this, pandemic. What would be your advice to them to get them up, get them motivated? Maybe not go right to a gym and buy a membership and start using weights right away, but what is, you know what I mean? Like what?
I always say it like this. YouTube is an awesome resource. All right.
Yeah.
It's an awesome resource. I feel like if you don't have a membership, get on to a YouTube channel, find whatever workout that you love or you might have loved, or a sport you might have played. Find out what kind of workout that sport is doing. Whatever you find that you've had any kind of affinity towards, check it out. There's always a workout for it. I've seen a workout for golfers. I've seen a workout for any kind of sport. Follow it.
Crazy.
Get out and be active with it. I mean, it doesn't take, you don't have to go for an hour a day. You can go for 25 to 30 minutes a day. Anytime being active and getting your body to experience that little bit of stress from strenuous work is going to shape your body completely differently than just sitting at home doing nothing. So add just a little bit per day. And it starts with one day. It starts with that first step. And once you take that first substantial step, you never know how much miles you're going to walk.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
So,
And how I used to always tell my clients, I was like, listen, you might as well take advantage of this now, because, if you're 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, when you become 60, 70, your body will not be able to handle this type of activity. So,
exactly.
So it's almost like you're kind of shaping, the clay of your body at this point for the next 20, 30, 40 years.
Absolutely.
And then what you're going to be at 45, 50, most likely that's where you're going to stay at, unless you take some type of hormone replacement therapy or something. But aside from that, you're stuck with that. So, I think it's important that, you stay healthy all the time as much as you can. And, like you said, 20 minutes a day, it's 30 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be crazy.
Yes.
Sometimes, that type of stuff could be intimidating for someone that doesn't like to work out. I mean, let's be honest, unless you have a passion for it, it's not really that glamorous. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that someone could be doing, right?
Right,
But,
right.
I mean, at the end of the day,
True.
When you get focused on, the long-term effects of good health, I think that's key. So
Totally.
now, of
Embrace
course,
it. And there's a ton of things, right, that are out there that you can do that are, complimentary too. I mean, you don't have to go and get that membership. I mean, look, you're talking about an event. We have a live Zoom workout event with a couple of different commercial brands out here. There's so many different things that you can do in the meantime, before you get locked into a membership. Find what works for you, find what you like, and then once you find out what you like, then you can explore like the membership route.
Yeah. Dip your foot in a little bit, see if it goes well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, I'm going to be posting some photos and stuff like that of you. So first things people are going to ask me is like, what the fuck is this guy doing on a daily basis?
Oh,
Because
I love this answer.
So, obviously, what does a day look like in the life of Tony when he wakes up in the morning? What's your routine looking like?
All right. So muscle confusion is probably my best friend. That's what kept me
Love
the
it.
same. I've found out. I'm not gonna ever say my age, by the way, but you probably got some documents that probably have it. But yeah, I've maintained the same weight at or around 5 to 10 pounds, give or take, depending on what I'm going for the month or for whatever time frame, since I was in my freshman year in college. So
Wow.
my whole claim is muscle confusion is very important. The best way to embrace muscle confusion is through through a process, not product, process. I like to call it adaptation. Never let your body adapt to something every day. That means change up your workout routine. You can't do the same thing every day. And this has worked with me simply because of my schedule. And I made my schedule my workouts. So all the places I used to work out, where I did boxing, where I did HIIT, where I did strength and conditioning, where I did basketball, where I did football, it's all compressed into my workouts. That's why I've been doing this for I don't know how many years. People do not get bored of my workouts because it's always different. I love mobility. I love yoga. I love so many different things. So I apply these things, and I also add progression, all right? Progression, periodization, a systemic approach. So it's organized, but it's organized muscle confusion. I do different things to allow the muscles to recruit and act differently throughout the process. And when that happens, you start to see muscular development in all kind of areas that you would never imagine. So you don't need a weight room necessarily, but it helps sometimes to have a weight room. You don't need equipment, but it sometimes helps to have equipment. You can literally get this shape, because I hardly go to the gym like that. I'm an advocate of not always going to the gym. I believe in outdoor workouts. I believe in HIIT. I believe in isometrics, meaning holding contraction. I believe in volume training, hence why so many jailbirds are killing it with their routines in jail because of volume. So you can get that same effect that you do in the weight room outdoors. You just got to know how to apply that pressure. And sometimes gravity is our best friend. That 9.8 it weighs down if you hold it in the right position, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So biomechanics is very important with muscle
Well,
confusion.
and Tony, sorry not to interrupt you, but
No, you're good.
because I love where you're going with this. So people that don't know, when you talk about muscle confusion, just so people are aware of, that doesn't mean if you go to a gym or if you don't go to the gym, that doesn't mean walk in there. 'Cause I loved how you worded it, where you said planned muscle confusion, meaning don't go in and just, go to the gym and say, I guess I'll do back and then I'll switch it up and I'll do legs one day. Like you don't want to confuse your muscles that way. Right?
Yeah, no. You got to be organized. Yeah, you got to be organized with the way you confuse those muscles. They should be confused, not you. But for sure, yeah. Like, for instance, if I was going to be in the weight room, which, I still do programs for people in the weight room, like I would do a program where it might be push and pull, right? I'll do a push and pull, chest, back, upper body exercises. That would be my Monday. Then I'll do like lower body, legs, only legs, posterior chain, right? Then maybe the next day would be anterior chain legs. Then I'll go back and I'll go ahead and do maybe another push-pull. So you had that whole day to rest your upper body from that Monday, right? And then I'll go to a plyometric day where you're just doing explosive stuff in gym, box jumps, things like that. So you train your fast twitch muscles, right? And then the next day is all about stretching and mobility. So we get that good recovery, open up the hips, lengthen strength, right? In that program. And then boom, maybe we repeat starting again, the upper body, push, pull. And then you do that for 3 weeks, right? After 3 weeks, boom, you change that routine up. You know what I mean? And then you start your program. Maybe you start with legs and then you do upper body. Then maybe it's not push-pull this time. Maybe it's more of a back and shoulders, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe it's chest and triceps. Maybe it's, you just mix it up and progress every time and always take notes. Find out where you felt like you got stronger. Do create measuring tools, for instance. Create something like maybe a goal. Okay, I want to be able to bench press this amount by this much, but this is what I'm going to do in the process. So this is my 3-week period. At the end of 3 weeks, test myself. So you get an idea of how much you've progressed.
Sure.
It's always good to set, goals at the end. Don't look at it and then work one day at a time, getting better. Another day down, another day closer to your goals is what I like to call my motto, because it takes every minute, every second of work to get to that long-term goal.
Absolutely. Well, and plus, I mean, it keeps you motivated to actually do the work, right?
Right.
I mean, if you go in there with no goal, it's like, I always use the example of, if you want to get to California, you don't just hop in a car and drive. You know what I mean? Like,
I like that. Yeah.
You need to get a roadmap. You need to make sure you're gassed up. You need to make sure you have enough food and supplies, and where are you staying?
Yeah.
Are you you need to have a plan if you want to go across the country, right? You can't just hop in a car and figure it out.
You be in that desert. You be in that desert talking to them crows, or talking to
That's right.
talking to them rattlesnakes, like, which way?
That's right. And if you do that, you might be super skinny, but you're not going to be in the healthiest shape of your life.
No,
So
you won't be.
So speaking of which, though, do you so obviously your routine, your workout routines, probably I would say 80% of how you train, or is it more eating right?
Okay,
How's it?
So I actually didn't give you my actual daily activity. So I'll wake up in the morning. I'm coaching a class, so I choose what classes I'm going to work out in. So in the morning, I'll say, okay, this class I'm going to work out with the group. That's going to be my HIIT workout, because I love my HIIT workouts. They're amazing. So the ones in the morning, I'm usually more receptive. I love working out in the morning. So I'll get up, I'll do that 9:15 class, and then what we do is we pretty much go from warm up, jog pace, to strength and conditioning exercise, body weight, and then we'll get back into a more rigorous jog, and then we'll go back to more rigorous strength training, body weight style. So that's your regular squats. I love to do biomechanic style movements, so we'll do gliders, hip extensions, animal flow. We mix in a lot of calisthenics, plyometrics. So my HIIT workouts are kind of like a performance-based HIIT workout. It's just not like get up, run, drop down, get up. No, we do like different like sports performance style exercises. So I feel like an athlete when I leave. That's my goal, is to be athletic for as long as I possibly can. So I'm trying to pull this off, man. I'm trying to pull this off till I'm like 70, 80. And then
you got it.
Lord's willing, and I live that long. And then in the evening, I always do a long stretch. I do yoga every day. It's meditative, it's therapeutic.
Do you do it at home, or is it you go?
I do it, for the most part, I do it at home, or I'll utilize some of my colleagues that I've worked with. Some of them have online courses. Some of them done courses for us. Some of them do some Zoom workouts for us too as well, where I'll get on and I'll just do like the yoga with them.
Nice.
So that's yoga. Pretty much, man, that's,
yeah.
And boxing is my favorite when it comes to like, HIIT for one sport, like just HIIT one sport. Boxing gets it done, throwing those punches, moving around. I think for HIIT, boxing's not my favorite sport.
Right.
But for the exercise world, for losing weight, shredding, movement, turning the shoulder, thoracic rotation, hips, legs, arms, I feel like boxing is the best for that.
You do a lot of shadow, or you do heavy bag?
I do a lot of shadow right now, since we can't really do anything in the weight rooms. But when it's full on, I love to go hit the bag a little bit. Mitts are my favorite because of the coordination. I feel like I'm really coordinated, so I don't know, maybe somebody else might not think so, but I love to test my brain and my movement at the same time, connect that mind and body, and mitts are the best way to do it. Or you'll get slapped in the face.
That's right. Well, because, people don't know when you start, because probably the last 18 months, I've really been heavily into boxing. I go to Title Boxing, which is just a great nationwide company, and memberships are pretty cheap too. But what I love most about it is, the combinations. Like you said, I love how you put it, to where you like to challenge your mind, and people don't think of that when they think of boxing, but really it's almost like, what's that thing we used to do? Circle your stomach and tap your head.
Yes.
Super, super hard to do. And boxing's kind of like that, because once you do, jab, hook, and then you maybe add a couple things, and then you got to remember the first thing that you started to do And it really, like, the first couple times you do it, you're like, holy shit, I have a horrible memory. But it's not that, right? It's just you got to get used to kind of, working out your body and your mind at the same time. Because what
Yes.
people don't understand is when you're just doing plyometrics or HIIT, or even if you're strength training, all you're literally doing is focus on lifting that weight.
Right.
That's all
Right.
you're doing. There's no mental
all.
capacity involved in that. It's just lift bar this way. That's it. But when you're boxing with mitts, you're thinking about your combination, but you're thinking about where the bag is going. You're thinking about who's around you, like your feet movement. It's a
Yeah.
very intricate sport. And I'm obsessed with it now. I cannot wait to get back to the gym and start
Yeah,
doing it
man.
again. But
There it is.
um,
We're gonna have to do some mitt work when you come down next time. I got you.
that'd be
I got
great,
you,
man.
Tony.
Yeah, I need
Yeah.
to tone up, man. I need to tone up. It's been about 4 months before I threw something on. So
Yeah.
it's hurting. I
can't
need to
wait,
get back
man.
into it. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
we'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it.
And how's everything going with getting back in the swing of things? Are you starting to kind of see maybe this week? Because I know South Florida's starting to open up a little bit. Are you seeing businesses a
Yeah.
little bit more receptive and stuff? And
Yeah, I'm starting to see. I mean, if you look, you can see like a little bit of more traffic. Like I remember with this highway here, there was
Oh, yeah.
nobody. There was nobody. There was no movement for like weeks. Now you're starting to see businesses going, doing their regular movements. You're starting to see people getting more strategic on how they get their business out there. I've seen a few different health spots that, open their doors, and they're doing promotions and incentives to get people to get out and go
Yeah.
to their store. They're gonna
Well,
lift the parks. I
Yeah.
think next week, and some other things. So the beaches in like 2 or 3 weeks. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. And for anybody that don't know, the shot that you just gave of the highway, that's South Florida. That never looks like that, by the way.
Right. Yeah. That's quiet. That's
That's-
usually a big traffic jam.
That's right. It's so crazy to see it like that. You know what I mean? Like, oh God.
Yeah.
Now during this time, because I know we've gone out, we've had some food and some drinks here and there, but how are you maintaining your diet regimen during this time? Are you getting a little bit more clean? Are you carbing up? Are you leaning up? What are you doing?
I've been doing a really good job of eating, actually. That's probably been my best I've done in a while.
Really?
As far as eating. Yeah, I really zoned everything. Just been zoning my diet, trying to keep it like, 40% with the protein, 30% with the carbs, and 30% essential fats, and just cutting out the carbs at nighttime. I'm having
your
protein
cutoff?
shakes now. I got a Ninja. The Ninja's
Nice.
been doing some serious juicing.
Yeah, that Ninja does some work, bro. I got the big one that has, so it's got the regular Ninja, and it comes with those 2 portable ones that you could just pop in their cups.
Yeah.
Night and
That's
day,
the
bro.
one.
Those things are money. That's the one. When do you start, or when do you end rather your carbs at night? Is 6 o'clock
I
your
usually end
cutoff? 7
around,
o'clock?
like around 5:36.
Okay.
5:36. Sometimes they'll go past that a little bit depending on what time I end the class. So like if I have a 5:15, I gotta eat. I gotta eat right away. I can't cut it off because it's just that class was too late. But usually if I get done at a reasonable time, or if I have a class that's pushed back like 7, then I'll finish my last meal. Then I'll do the class and I won't have any problems.
Nice.
But yeah. But it's all strategy when it comes to the diet, and you don't want to make it complicated. You don't want to make it complicated at all. You want to make it as easy as possible. So I just try to simplify everything. 8 ounces, 12 ounces. 8 ounce would be my protein. If I'm trying to do like for my lunch, 12 ounce for my dinner, since I'm cutting out the carbs. You know what I mean? I don't measure that much, but they pretty much do it all for you right there at the grocery store, pretty much, to let you know what the weight of everything you're getting. So, just keep it simple. Don't overdo it when it comes to the fats. I think that everybody knows that, and modify. Like everything in moderation. Make sure that if you're trying to get on a diet, cut it. Like cut your food down. If you're used to a certain plate size, simple. Fraction.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. All right, I can't eat this much anymore. Let me put this to the side. I'll save this for tomorrow. You know what I mean? And portion control is huge.
Yeah, and people don't realize, the plates that we have in America, like the dinner plates you buy, there's only two
Hmm.
sizes, right? There's really, really small, which
Hmm.
if you look at it, you're like, that's ignorant. What am I gonna have? Like a couple things of broccoli, you know what I mean?
Right, right,
And
right,
then
right,
you look at there's a massive one, and those like your only two options when you want to buy
right,
kitchenette ware, right?
right.
So I think if people start understanding, especially during this time when you're stuck at home, if you're not going to be as active as maybe you think you should, the easiest way to cut some pounds and cut some fat off is to literally just take the portions that you normally take, and you all know what you normally intake, right, for meals.
Hmm.
Literally,
Hmm.
like you said, what I like to do personally is like if I make something for breakfast. Let's say I have like I don't know, bagel sandwich and some egg and some cheese and maybe like an avocado or something like that, and that's one sandwich. Cut that in half. Only have half that. Save the rest for lunch. If you start training your
Wow.
brain to literally cut everything
Wow.
in half just
Yeah,
at
yeah,
first,
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah. Just
you
to get
know,
it going.
just to get it going, yeah, just to
Yeah.
to feel it out, because a lot of people don't know just doing that alone is gonna help a speed up your metabolism, but b it's gonna get you used to not eating so much. It's
Exactly.
the wife and I were having this conversation where it's like quarantine. You realize how crazy you went when you went out to dinner,
Oh
like
yeah. Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm vegan, but um it's when you go out to dinner, you're ordering your meal. Let's say you go out, you order a steak and potatoes and veggies and a salad, right? But then before you get your food, you intake an entire loaf of bread
Right.
when you're waiting for it.
Easy.
But you
Quick.
don't do that. You don't do that shit at home. But when you're out to
Nah.
dinner, for some reason, it's like you don't think
Automatic.
about it. it's,
It's automatic.
but it's the
Where's my
worst thing
bread?
you could do.
You get mad. You get mad at them like, really, man? I didn't get no
and,
bread.
and then, and then when
Kind
the
of
bread
spot is
comes, you're
this?
like, and you're like, can I get extra butter too? You're like, oh no.
Very true. Very true.
So, it's funny. It's letting people realize, I think, just being stuck in these times that, we do spend a lot of money when we go out. We eat a lot when we go out, but I love supporting local restaurants and businesses. But when you go out to dinner, I mean, me and the wife are starting this habit of now we'll order like, two salads and then we'll order one meal and we'll just split that meal just
Yeah.
for dinner,
That's smart.
because
That's smart.
that way, A, we're saving a little bit of money, but also B, it's kind of, it's training our mind to eat a little bit less. And let's be honest, I mean, how many times we go out to dinner and you just end up wasting food? How much food do we
Oh,
waste in the world? It's crazy.
too much. Too
Too
much.
much. Well, what else, man? Well, I think we're a little bit over the time, but I definitely wanted to talk to you about, your diets and working out. I think, I'd love to have you back on again because there's a lot more we could dive into.
Oh, yes, we
Um,
can.
Yeah. The one thing I did want to ask you though, how do you feel about supplements, especially during this time? Do you take any supplements, like over the counter vitamin C, or how do
Yeah.
you feel about all that
So
stuff?
majority of my supplementation comes from like my food. So
Food.
I do have like my list of things that I love to purchase.
Hmm.
Big tomato guy, big asparagus guy. Love
Nice.
broccoli. Love moringa. I don't know if too many people know about moringa. Yeah, big on moringa. Big on ginger.
And I'm not knocking supplements because I take them as well, but I think you have to be careful a little bit. Usually supplements are good for like if you live in, Seattle and it rains all the time and you don't get as much vitamin, D as you should. You
Exactly.
could take, I mean, people don't understand that supplement literally means supplement.
Exactly.
So you got to supplement. So you're saying you take more over the counter stuff as opposed to like pills, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good advice for sure. Well, last thing, dude, is there anything you want to leave the community here in Florida? I mean, I got listeners all over the country, but uh, what
I
do you got to
definitely
say?
want
We'll
to.
let
I
you
want to
close it out.
leave you guys with. Make sure you're resilient during this time. Focus on the task at hand. Taking care of yourself. Put nothing above that except for God, and then everything will work all the way right. Yeah,
That's
man.
perfect, man. Well
It
said.
is.
Well, Tony, thank you. I know you're a busy guy. I appreciate your time, man. I can't wait to see you in person. It's been a long time. So hopefully things will get back to normal and we'll get back down there and hang out again. But I appreciate you coming on today.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll talk to you soon, Tony.
My brother, be safe, man.
Blessings. Have a good one.